Today we have Christoph, a senior tech with Signature Motoring, to talk to us about high-performance cold air intakes. Now tell us, Christoph, what's wrong with the factory air intake system in a stock BMW?
Well, technically there's nothing wrong with it. The only problem is that when they make these, they have to take a lot of things into consideration, like expense, emissions, noise, that sort of thing. And all that, of course, comes at the cost of sheer power and performance. Now your BMW, or any car for that matter, runs on fuel and air. The more air, the better, period. That's why you see those hood scoops on the muscle cars and those fancy intake vents on the exotics. And there's a good reason for that. The reason being is that cold air is a lot denser than hot air. It carries more oxygen, so when it gets to the combustion chamber and mixes with your fuel, you get a better and more efficient combustion. So cold air is vital to any engine when you're trying to get peak performance there.
So for those seeking power and often greater gas mileage, a high-performance cold air intake seems to be the key.
That's correct. Anybody who's looking for more oomph in their car should consider getting a high-performance air filter in combination with a Signature Motoring heat shield. It's one of the easiest and most inexpensive ways to boost your performance in your Beamer.
Well, tell us what we're looking at here, Christoph.
Alright, this right here is a factory airbox from an E30 series BMW. It's typical for pretty much every airbox you're going to find in those here models. And the first thing you'll see on it is the big plastic housing that encases the whole filter system. It's there to shield the filter itself from the hot air in the engine compartment. But as you can see, on this side right here, the air intake hole is fairly small, and it limits the amount of air getting into the filter itself. And the filter itself isn't that big either, so the surface area of the filter restricts the airflow as well.
Okay, now tell us about this big guy over here.
Alright, this on the other hand, this is a high-performance air filter like we were talking about earlier. This particular one is a K&N, and K&N is widely regarded to be the best high-performance air filter on the market. Now, the big difference with this to this is that these high-performance air filters have a much larger surface area, which means they can suck in air from all directions. And you'll just see when you put it in your car that your car is going to be able to breathe a lot better and get a lot more air flowing in there.
Now, aside from performance, what does a big filter like that do for our gas mileage?
Alright, well that's fairly straightforward. The smaller your surface area on an air filter, the more prone and the more quickly it will become dirty. A dirty air filter can actually rob 10% off your gas mileage. So it's important to have that big surface area.
Understood.
Now we do have one problem with these air filters, being that they sit on top and out in the open in the engine compartment. They're prone to sucking hot air from the engine itself in. And like we said earlier, we want cold air, not hot air.
Now tell us what we can do about that.
Alright, well if you're considering putting one of these in, you're definitely going to need one of these. This is the Signature Motoring heat shield.
Well, now that is a handsome looking product.
Yeah, and aside from being, visually appealing, it's the best heat shield out there. It's made with a solid steel shell on the outside, and on the inside we've got this heat insulating laminate. So what it actually does for the air filter is it blocks off all the hot air from the engine compartments that's trying to get in there, and it only allows the cold air from your grill to come in through your high-performance air filter and in your engine. Well, so that means basically you're getting not only better gas mileage like we talked about, but a better performance, more horsepower, more torque, all of that.
Well, you can't really ask for more than that. Now, how much time would it take to remove a factory airbox and put in a high-performance cold air intake system like that? An hour, hour and a half?
Not even. I'd say for a first timer, from the time he pops the hood until he has this baby installed with the air filter until he closes the hood again, I'd say maybe 30 minutes max.
Nice. Now let's take a look at one of these high performance units under the hood.
Alright, let's go.
Tell us what we're looking at here, Christoph.
Alright, this right here is an E30 325, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit about the heat shield itself that we make here. We've taken out the factory air box already. We put in the heat shield and we left out the high performance air filter, just so we can give you a look at the heat shield itself here. Now, it's just cut and handcrafted to fit right in there and just give you a perfect seal. The bottom's cut to fit in your engine bay, and then we have the first seal here on the side, which blocks off the engine heat. Then right here is where you'd be putting on your high performance air filter. Connects right to the AFM, and you can see that the seal around here is just perfect. And then we have the main seal, of course. It's this thick seal here on top. And what this does for you is when you close the hood, it compresses it, and you know, those three seals combined just give you the perfect fit and the perfect seal for your engine compartment.
From here I can see that is one heck of a nice seal.
Yeah, unfortunately with a lot of other heat shields on the market, you don't get a fit like this. A lot of the other heat shields are made from plastic, and when you put them in there, they just kind of sit in there and they rattle around and buzz around when you go at high speeds. Plus, just the fact that they're made out of plastic, you know, that just can't be a good heat shield.
Makes sense. Now, aside from the high performance and the great looks, what does a heat shield like that do for us?
Alright, well, there's some other benefits to it. If you guys just go around, I can show you one of the other great benefits of this signature motoring heat shield right here.
Alrighty.
Alright, on this particular E30 here, we took out the heat shield and the air filter about 2 weeks ago for a cleaning. They've been in the car for about 2 years now, and if you come a little closer, I'd like to show you guys this right here. You can see there's an encrusted spray line. The spray pattern is lengthwise right here, and what that is it's road tar, engine oil, and just dirt and gunk that's been flung on there by the fan blades and the drive belts. Now the filter itself sits in here in this position, so you can just imagine this whole spray pattern, all that dirt would end up on your filter if we didn't have the heat shield in here. Now, after a while, that would just rob the filter of its life and your engine.
So, Christoph, what do you say we take her off for a road test and see how she's doing?
Alrighty, let's do it.